One of my most anticipated games for 2026 is Resident Evil Requiem.
I'll be fine.
Resident Evil 9 is shaping up to be a return to pure survival horror. The game is expected to push the series back towards slower, darker, and more terrifying gameplay, focusing less on non-stop action and more on tension, atmosphere, and fear. Think fewer bullets, more panic. The narrative kicks off with FBI analyst Grace Ashcroft investigating horrific murders tied to her past and an older, more hardened version of Leon S. Kennedy, or should I say, the hot uncle. But this time he's packing a bloody axe that's sharpened and ready to chop heads. The story reportedly continues the mainline Resident Evil timeline, tying together long-running plot threads from earlier games while introducing new mysteries and new horrors. Director Koshi Nakanishi says to expect a roller coaster ride with a tone that is much darker and more grounded than recent entries. Introducing the all-new Elpis virus, or E-virus for short, instead of instantly mutating victims, the virus is rumored to target the human mind first, slowly breaking down sanity, memory, and perception before physical changes even begin. Infected individuals may not realize they're sick until it's too late. In short, the Elpis virus attacks the mind before the body, turning fear, trauma, and despair into weapons. Capcom is aiming to make players feel unsafe at all times, bringing back the feeling of never knowing what's around the corner. At its core, Resident Evil 9 isn't just about fighting monsters, it's about enduring the nightmare. The release date is set for February 27th, 2026. Burglin Gnomes is an upcoming cooperative stealth adventure game where you and up to 4 friends play as tiny, mischievous gnomes pulling off chaotic heists inside giant human houses. And yes, you are very small. Your mission? Sneak in, steal valuable loot, complete objectives, and escape without getting caught. The houses are massive playgrounds from a gnome's perspective, kitchen counters become parkour arenas, living rooms turn into stealth zones, and everyday objects become tools, weapons, or hiding spots. Each session is built around replayability with different layouts, objectives, and escalating challenges that keep every heist feeling fresh. There's no official release date yet, but it's coming soon to PC via Steam, so if you and your squad are ready to become the most wanted gnomes in suburbia, keep this one on your radar. Marathon is a multiplayer sci-fi first-person extraction shooter developed and published by Bungie. It marks the first major new Marathon game in decades, serving as a reimagining of the classic universe with modern competitive and survival-oriented mechanics. At its core, Marathon blends PvP and PvE gameplay in high-risk matches where squads of runners compete to scavenge valuable loot, complete objectives, and escape the hostile world alive. Set in the year 2893, where a once thriving colony tied to the original Marathon ship has largely vanished, you become a runner, a cybernetically enhanced mercenary competing in multiplayer extraction shoots where teams of up to 3 players fight rival teams and AI threats while scavenging for loot. The goal in each match is to gather valuable gear, survive threats, and extract successfully. Platforms include PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S. The release date is scheduled for March 5th, 2026. Crimson Desert is an open-world action-adventure game developed and published by Pearl Abyss, best known for the Black Desert Online series. Originally conceived as a prequel to Black Desert Online, the project evolved into a standalone single-player RPG with deep narrative, expansive exploration, and ambitious mechanics. At its heart, Crimson Desert combines intense, visceral combat, epic storytelling, and vast open-world exploration. Players will take on the role of Cliff, a hardened mercenary and leader of the Greymanes faction as he navigates a continent rife with war, mystery, and larger forces at play. Pywell is a massive continent featuring 5 diverse regions ranging from the plains of Akapin to the cold lands of Quaidon. Players can move across the world through horseback riding, climbing, gliding, and later even access dragons and a mech with missile firing capabilities, giving exploration and combat remarkable variety. Beyond fighting, Crimson Desert features life sim mechanics like fishing, cooking, crafting, and hunting, encouraging players to engage with the world on multiple levels. The game is powered by Pearl Abyss's own Black Space engine, designed to deliver high-fidelity visuals, expansive environments, and realistic weather and lighting effects, making Pywheel feel vast and alive. Crimson Desert aims to be a deep, story-driven open-world RPG that blends epic fantasy narrative with immersive world interaction and action mechanics. The design focuses on giving players the freedom to shape how they engage with the world, whether through main quest, faction missions, or exploration, and incorporates both high-stakes battles and rich world-building moments. The release date is scheduled for March 19th, 2026. Saros is an upcoming third-person action game developed by House Marquee and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment for PlayStation 5. It's a brand new intellectual property that builds on House Marquee's signature fast-paced combat style, evolving elements from their hit Returnal into a haunting, cinematic action experience with roguelike progression systems and a mysterious sci-fi narrative. A key gameplay distinction between Saros and Returnal is permanent resources and progression, making every death valuable. The game focuses on both moment-to-moment combat thrills and longer-term progression, with an evolving world that feels alive and unpredictable. The release date is scheduled for April 30th, 2026.
No sign of 009.
We need to inform M.
No time. I'm going after him. Make him call off the attack.
Are you out of your mind?
I'll be careful. He'd bin the phone.
Go to the security room, first floor.
And you are?
Rob Minkley.
He's with me.
Come on, Moneypenny. If I lose the trail, we'll never know who they're working for. Oi, you lads got a faulty coffee machine? I hope I'm not interrupting anything.
You're not, Damien Mead.
Bond. James Bond.
007 First Light is an upcoming action-adventure third-person shooter developed and published by IO Interactive, the studio behind the acclaimed Hitman series. It serves as a standalone original James Bond origin story, putting players in the shoes of a young, resourceful, and sometimes reckless James Bond before he earns his 00 status.
Any sage advice?
007 First Light aims to deliver a modern espionage adventure that captures the spirit of James Bond, blending tension, glamour, and danger. The narrative is designed to be linear and story-driven, with a focus on unfolding the adventure entirely from Bond's perspective rather than branching paths or RPG-style progression systems. The release date is scheduled for May 27th, 2026. Another one of my most anticipated games of the year, Phantom Blade Zero. Phantom Blade Zero is an upcoming Wuxia-inspired action RPG developed and published by S-Game for PlayStation 5 and PC. It's built with Unreal Engine 5 and combines high-octane martial arts combat with cinematic storytelling in a rich, dark fantasy world rooted in Wuxia traditions but presented with a modern kung fu punk flair. You play as Soul, an elite assassin framed for the murder of his master and left with a ruined heart, giving him only 66 days to live. Hunted by former allies and caught in a complex web of conspiracy, Soul must fight through hostile environments, unravel the truth behind his fate, and confront powerful enemies, all while racing against the clock. Played from a third-person perspective, combat focuses on fast, fluid martial arts and tactical engagements involving dodging, blocking, and counters. Soul can wield over 30 weapons and more than 20 distinct phantom edges, each offering unique techniques and combat styles that can be mixed to fit your playstyle. Defensive options like parrying and dodging are essential, and special maneuvers reward well-timed responses. The game features connected regions you can explore non-linearly with backtracing and weapon lock progression reminiscent of Metroid-style design. Phantom Blade Zero is viewed as one of the most exciting action RPGs of 2026, part of a rising wave of high-profile Chinese-developed titles aimed at core console and PC audiences. It's praised for its elegant martial arts combat, stylistic world design, and its blend of genre influences that feel both familiar and fresh. The release date is scheduled for September 9th, 2026. FABLE is an upcoming open-world action role-playing game developed by Playground Games and published by Xbox Game Studios. It's a full reboot of the beloved FABLE series, reinvented for a new generation with modern visuals, deep choice-driven gameplay, and a living world full of personality. Set in the fantasy realm of Albion, a whimsical yet dangerous fairy tale land full of mythical creatures, quirky villages, sprawling forests, and legendary cities like Bowerstone, players begin as an ordinary child whose village is struck by a mysterious catastrophe that sparks a larger adventure. From there, your hero's journey unfolds across Albion as you uncover secrets, rise to prominence, and shape your own legend. The game blends classic British humor with fairy tale charm and moral consequence, including cheeky nods to series staples like kicking chickens, while reimagining FABLE's world for modern audiences. Albion is a truly open world. Feel free to explore at your own pace, full of side quests, hidden areas, and bustling towns whose inhabitants live and react dynamically. Combat mixes melee, ranged, and magic seamlessly in fluid action sequences. Players can chain sword combos, cast spells, and switch styles to suit their preferred playstyle. Become a revered legend or a lovable rogue. Albion's landscapes and characters are built to respond to how you choose to explore, fight, and live. The release date is scheduled for fall of 2026 with no specific date yet. Marvel's Wolverine is an action-adventure, third-person superhero game developed by Insomniac Games and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment, exclusively for PlayStation 5. It's a standalone original take on the iconic Marvel Comics character, Wolverine, expanding the story and combat of his world in a mature, brutal, and narrative-driven experience. Built around intense, close-quarters combat, the game emphasizes Logan's adamantium claws with fast slicing, brutal finishers, and rich combo depth. This is a more violent and visceral combat style than seen in previous Insomniac superhero titles. Driven by fragments of a dark past and unanswered questions, Logan embarks on a global journey that will take him from the gritty streets of Madripoor to the frozen Canadian wilderness and the bustling urban landscapes of Tokyo as he seeks answers and battles powerful enemies along the way. The experience is crafted to make you feel like the iconic mutant, clawed, scarred, and driven by a quest for truth. The release date is scheduled for fall 2026 with no specific date yet.
I'm Wolverine.
The Forest 3 is an upcoming survival horror game being developed by Night Games, the studio behind The Forest and Sons of the Forest. It was officially revealed at the Game Awards 2025 with a dramatic shift in setting that moves the franchise beyond its familiar island wilderness into sci-fi horror territory. A first-person survival horror experience that continues the core survival mechanics fans know: exploration, resource gathering, crafting, and threat management, but transplanted into a new extraterrestrial environment. Instead of a dense woodland, players now face bizarre, possibly hostile terrain and fauna that blend horror with science fiction, hinting at grotesque creatures and eerie environments. Much like earlier entries, players will likely need to scavenge for resources, craft tools, weapons, build temporary shelters, and fend off threats to stay alive. There is currently no exact release date and no confirmation it will be out in 2026, so don't get your hopes up. Control Resonant is an action RPG and the official sequel to Remedy Entertainment's acclaimed Control. You play as Dylan Faden, a paranaturally gifted character introduced in the original Control. Dylan was previously confined by the Federal Bureau of Control and now finds himself central to the world's survival. Rather than being confined to a single location like the oldest house, Resonant features expansive zones across Manhattan with branching quests, optional objectives, and paranormal mysteries to uncover. Years after the events of Control, strange forces once contained within the FBC's oldest house have escaped into downtown Manhattan, creating a reality-bending crisis. The release is scheduled for 2026, but there is no specific date yet.
Pace yourself.